Oh, there we go.
Her. Turn that ringer off.
All right.
Boom.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Welcome to tonight's podcast, Coach Jay's Gridiron BBQ and North Texas Football. My co-host, Rudy Hawkins, he ain't here. So I brought in a ringer. It's Brad Blassingame. He's a heck of a karaoke singer and head coach of the Petroleum Pirates. And
the key part about being a great karaoke singer is your song selection.
What's your go-to?
Neon Moon.
Oh, man, you can't go wrong with that.
Neon Moon.
Mine's David Allen Cole. You never even called me.
That is mine as well. We're going to have to do that.
I can nail that sucker.
If you can get the crowd singing louder than you, then it's a no-brainer.
And Coach Blassingame and I have we've closed the stage for a couple of Texas nightlife one night.
Ooh,
and
we closed for Charlie Robinson.
Close.
Oh, wow.
May you rest in peace.
Absolutely. Yes, Loving County.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Absolutely. And our special guest tonight is Ben Coker.
Which camera do I look at?
Any of them.
I'll go with this one.
Ben is a man of many jobs.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us what you do.
Well, I work full-time at the Texas Department of Transportation. I work part-time at KFTX shooting sports. You'll see me on the sidelines this weekend, this Friday at the Peaster at Jacksboro game, followed by the Battle for Germany, Munster at Windthorst. Looking forward to that one, especially that time of day. This time of year at Windthorst, you get the sun setting about this time. You're shooting right into it. It makes for some beautiful light. I've shot one of your holiday Windthorst games there.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful, beautiful setting there in Windthorst. Also do our Taste of Texas Homa show there at KFTX. We're getting ready to fire that up. Have a new episode in October.
Which is why he's...
Yeah, yeah.
I mean...
Had some of that Coach Jay's tonight.
We had Coach Jay's Gridiron
and it
BBQ,
was delicious.
And we won't, I need Ben to talk good about it.
Oh, yeah, I will. You got it. Your food speaks for itself. It's excellent.
We did a little bit of smoke, and we did a little bit of a meal because I was hungry. That's the truth of it. I thought I got to eat something
there
tonight. So we did. It's kind of worked out to where the food I've cooked so far has been tailgating. We did on the first episode. We did pork belly burnt ends, which
baby,
man, that came out perfect. And last week, the first time I'd ever tried them, I did party ribs, and I never had tried them before, but I felt like I nailed them. And
nice.
Tonight, for the appetizer, I did armadillo eggs. I used to have a coach in Colorado City, not Colorado City.
Downtown Colorado City.
Jim Baum used to say that.
Yes.
Jim Baum, he's great. My friend Dan Gainey, anytime we had a school function or whatever, Dan was going to bring armadillo eggs. And I got thinking about it. I said, well, that'd make a great tailgate food.
Absolutely.
And so I Googled. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. And he used to bread them with
it's armadillo.
Shake and bake.
Egg.
But no.
Oh, none of that? Okay.
No armadillos. There's no eggs.
I didn't think I tasted that in my refined palate.
It's a jalapeno stuffed with seasoned cream cheese. And the way I did it tonight was I wrapped it in breakfast sausage, and I tried to shape it like a football because this is Coach Jay's Gridiron BBQ, but apparently I'm not a sausage sculptor.
Yeah, okay.
But you like coating
not a bad thing.
of sausage, and then I wrapped them in bacon, cooked them on at 275 for about an hour and a half. And
was it normal breakfast sausage, Frank?
Yeah.
Was
about to say, because it tasted, it was really, really good. And it might have been the smoke that
because I coached in Plainview, I bought some Jimmy Dean.
There you go.
Jimmy Dean is from Plainview, Texas. And so I don't know why I'm loyal to that, but I got to go with Jimmy Dean.
There you go.
And I wrapped it in, I cooked it for an hour and a half. And I did that before I went to football practice. And then I wrapped them in foil, and I set them on the counter. When I got home, I put them back. I glazed them with Coach Jay's Gridiron BBQ sauce. And, of course, everything's homemade at my place. And I put them back on the smoker for about 10 minutes at 275 just to let it glaze. And we've got a ton of fries.
You can tell flies only flock to good food.
But
if this was garbage, you'd see no flies, and we got a lot of flies.
We got 1 or 2 left.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Small ones so I can hold it.
There you go.
Right there.
Look at that.
And you hit the glaze just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the thin.
Stickiness, but not.
And who doesn't like sweet heat?
Absolutely.
That's right where
I
it
think
was
that's the secret to a good marriage.
A little sweet heat.
A little sweetness,
You gotta know
a
when to
little
spice
spicy,
it up.
daggum right.
That's right.
And
No, everything about those was perfect. The breakfast sausage with the smoke that hit it was excellent. The bacon was perfect. It wasn't stringy. It wasn't mushy. It was excellent. And when you hit it with that Coach J's
gridiron
barbecue sauce, it set it off just perfectly. And again, you don't want to put it on there where it's too thin and runny. It like you said, it got that nice kind of candied gumminess to it.
Yeah, you
and that's the best. It was excellent.
Just glaze and set, and you don't want your fire too hot on that. And I just love. And we went ahead and did Coach J's fajitas, franquitas, as I call them.
Franquitas.
It's fajitas made by a guy named Frank. And I make beef and chicken tonight, and I stole the recipe, but I made it mine. It's basically a brown sugar soy sauce.
Nice.
That I marinated. That I got up this morning and I took a skirt steak and I beat the hell out. I beat it like a rented mule, and put it in that marinade and just let it sit. I'd flip it about every hour or so. And I came home and quickly after football practice fired up the kettle grill and. I cook it to medium rare, and I wrap it and let it rest. And some people like it more done. I don't. I think I don't.
It was plenty done.
To me, if you overcook a steak, you might as well chew on a boot.
Absolutely.
So, and a Weber kettle grill, you can get a nice fire. The thing about it, you cook a steak on that, you spend more time setting your fire up than you do actually cooking. But
yeah.
I love my little Weber. I hate to admit it right now. I cooked armadillo eggs on the daggum pellet grill. I am old school.
They did all right.
I'm old school. Goodness. I don't think Weber's or pellet grills are really that much of barbecuing, but it's hard to cook.
If it tastes good, it tastes good.
I guess since I'm not coaching in Holiday, I can tell the secret. When I was still coaching here, I would occasionally slip out of the office, run home, and check my fire.
Yeah.
But I can't do that from my old park. Time I drive home.
Yeah, it used to be right around the corner.
Yeah, I was right.
Now you're well up the road.
I could shut my door and act like I was, and turn the security camera on where I could see it on my phone. I knew when somebody was looking for me, I could get back up there. But I could come home and get something going on the fire, and it worked out. But
yes, sir.
No, I can't do that. So I broke down when I went back to coaching just to help out. Miss Tammy's not all. She really doesn't like working with my big fires. And anyway.
Well, this one, did you splurge, Frank, and get the one that you can control with your phone?
Daggum right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and temperature probes.
Two-handed.
It's pretty fancy, and it's so easy.
Yeah. It is easy.
And honestly, if you're for like armadillo eggs, you put them on there, you walk it, you mow the grass or something.
It's perfect.
If your lawnmowers will start, you get your grass mowed.
You need to give your puppy dog some of them fajitas. He's over here trying to eat a grasshopper.
Yeah, I wish she likes to eat those daggum grasshoppers and throw them up in my bed.
Yeah, that's why I just saw you tossing it around.
Yeah,
into the pool.
Into the pool. Good.
There you
it's
go.
Into
all
the
right.
skimmer.
A live update here.
But nonetheless, it's a good meal.
Absolutely.
Armadillo eggs. That almost a meal in itself.
It
You eat one and a half of those, you'll be full.
Are they going to find their way to the trailer at some point?
Possibly. I'm really thinking about the fajitas. Cook those right before I leave, and I could grill them in the trailer just to heat them back up and on a good tortilla.
And you had that good homemade guacamole.
Yeah.
It was a perfect complement to those.
Boy, you can't, and it's healthy.
Oh, yeah.
So much of the stuff is not healthy. It's just tasty. And guacamole is
superfood. It's a superfood.
It is a superfood. If you find find the right person and let her squeeze your avocado. You got something going.
Should we distance from that?
I think you should. It's a song. It's a Tejano.
There's a lot of things in songs,
Texas
Frank, that we
Tornado
need not
song.
repeat.
Yeah, Texas Tornadoes. The song is called Guacamole. Guacamole. Oh, we got some flies going.
Yes, we do.
It is. You live across the street from a horse farm, you tend to get flies in your cook shop.
That looks like a pretty good old Griffin Ranch down there.
Yeah, the Griffin Equine right down the road. Yeah. And
looks like a solid operation down there.
Our friend over at Windthorst, he has a son playing quarterback. Granddad's right across the street.
Okay.
And he raises and sells horses. So we got plenty of horses in our neighborhood, and they put out some pretty daggum good flies.
Yes, sir.
I think we've cornered the market on that. Since Coach Blassingame is here, congratulations on your first win as a head coach.
Thank you.
Who'd you beat?
The Olney Cubs.
Any significance there?
Yeah.
Beating the Olney Cubs?
Yeah.
Any ties?
That's the old alma mater.
Oh, baby.
Yep. So it was definitely weird being on the other side of it. Of course, I played them, when I was at Petrolia before, we always played them, and that was always weird, just going to that gym and sitting on the other side, or going to the football field and being on the other side of the field, and that was always weird. So it was definitely weird being the head coach and being on the other side of that.
Very much.
And so it's memorable anyways, but to do it against the town that you grew up in is I'm super appreciative of all the people I still know in Olney that reached out to congratulate me instead of cuss me, and so it was nice to get that first one.
Well, if memory serves, they had a chance to hire you at one time and missed out on that opportunity. So
yes, sir.
I'm grateful. I hope you stole a football and wrote your first win on it.
There you go.
It's been a long time since my first win, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And
yep.
I hopefully when I get Alzheimer's, I'll still remember it.
Yeah.
You never know. So, but congratulations. Who you got this week?
We have Quanah Indians.
Quanah Indians over
in
to
Quanah, Texas.
Yep.
In Quanah, Texas.
I know you can't talk. I hope you feel good about it.
I'm confident in it that they are very, very much improved. And Frank, you know as good as I do, their coach has them in the straight up wishbone, single tight, double tight wishbone, old school veer stuff. And you know as well as I do, if you miss an assignment, that it can bust on you any play. And so,
and you haven't seen that,
and we have not seen that. We've been lucky to see both of our scrimmages and both of our first two games. They all ran almost the exact same offense.
Teams like that, you want to play them early in the year before they figure out how to run it.
Yep.
If they do it right, they'll play keep away with you all game.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right.
But they got a couple athletes over there that have the speed to take it to the house, and so we're hoping to put some pressure on them and hopefully make them one-dimensional and try to beat us by throwing. So
my second son, talking about ball control offense, I got to shout out to Jake. He's offensive coordinator at Eastland. They were 2-0 on the season.
Let's go, Jake.
Nice.
They beat Clyde this last week, and I didn't get to go, but my wife and my youngest son, Jax, went, and the first thing Jax told me, he said, Dad, you've been impressed. He had like a 14-play drive in the third quarter that took the whole quarter.
Yeah, it takes the whole quarter.
And they switched to the wing T, which everybody thinks I'm a wing T guy. I'm really not, but it is still a good offense, and I'm happy that Jake is 2-0. I'm happy Brad got his first win.
Yeah, buddy.
Moving on. Friendship at Legacy. 1-1. Legacy 0-2. Cousin Larry. Getting ahead of myself. If you're 0-2, 1-1, it's time to try to get some confidence because the district is getting close.
Getting there.
I would have guessed everybody's goal right now is to make the playoffs, win district. Somehow you got to get some confidence in non-district. And Legacy is 0-2, and they've got a tall task.
Friendship is tough. They just put up 66 on Memorial. Memorial's got a pretty solid, stout defense. Hung 66 on them. So that's now Friendship, you can score on them. Memorial put up over 40 on them, but man, that's a Friendship is tough every year, and this year is no different. And Legacy is they're in for a long night, but they've got a lot of talent on that team. And if they can figure it out, like you said, got a good head coach, a lot of talent. It's something where they can shock somebody. It's gonna be tough against Friendship, but it can be done. They just got to believe in themselves that they can do it.
Well, I'm pulling for them. I have mixed feelings. Coach Northcutt out at Friendship was one of my players in Plainview.
Oh, nice.
A long time ago. So I'm grateful or thankful that he is doing well. But at the same time, Coach Johnson over at Legacy, I keep wanting to say Hershey. They're my friends.
Yeah,
I know the coaching staff. I know a lot of them, and it's hard not to want your local teams to win when they're playing that far out. So
and it's been said before. It takes time when you're getting kids, for the new high schools who haven't always played together.
Yeah,
it takes a few weeks to learn each other and do all that stuff. And so, it's like you said, you want to get that momentum rolling. Now's the time to hopefully stick out some wins and get some of that on your side and get some more buy-in to where those guys can gel together even more and buy in, and that can change the whole rest of the year.
I have no doubt. I've spent. I'm trying to learn all the kids at at Iowa Park, but as we go through the season, I just feel like more and more need to, and I felt like we kind of did that this week. Buy into what we're doing,
sure, and
see if we can get better. And as long as we're in non-district, get better every week. We haven't got to the point where we got to win.
Right.
We're at a point where we got to get better. Yeah. We'll get to that guy here in a second. Memorial. We're gonna pick a winner on that. I'm gonna pull for the.
Me too. I'm pulling for
Legacy.
You can go ahead and go out on a limb if you want to.
I think Friendship wins, but Legacy can hang in there, and if they can, it would necessarily be shocking the world. But if they can pull out a win, that is a huge win to get their first win against a quality program like that. That would be fantastic. And I hope they do it.
It's a pretty good drive, though. So hopefully they have bus lag.
Hey, they could. It's about as long a drive you can have unless you're playing a Midland school, heading out to that Lubbock way.
So, come on, Legacy. Memorial 1-1 at Dunbar. I know nothing about this game.
Yeah.
1-1 Dunbar. I know in 1991, Dunbar hit a 3/4 of the basketball court buzzer beater for a 3 that knocked Plainview out of going to the state championship.
Wow.
We had the lead. We made a layup, and there wasn't 2 seconds left, and they inbounded the pass, and the kid just chunked up a prayer, and it went in.
Oh, that's incredible.
Dunbar went on one state, and
that's interesting.
So one of those games, whoever won that was probably winning.
Yeah, and Dunbar won easily at the state tournament, and we had them beat, and it was just a catch and throw, catch and release type of deal, and that's basketball. And I think Dunbar's a basketball school when you get right down to it. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Memorial.
Absolutely.
Hometown boys.
Go get it done.
Memorial, they just gotta stay focused. There's been the first 2 games they've had some ejection issues. Got to clean that up. You can't have that happen in every game. Guys are going to start missing multiple games, so clean that up. Stay focused. Play football. They can go down and whoop Dunbar.
I always told my kids, you're not a very good football player if you're having to stand on the sideline.
You're not contributing much from the sidelines.
Don't get a penalty that's going to hurt your team.
Mm-hmm.
If a kid gets a holding penalty, I never really griped at them much. I'd gripe about illegal procedure or jumping off sides or lining up in the neutral zone. Because I felt like those are stupid penalties.
Those are focus penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, a holding that's a hustle penalty. That's I'm trying to do something most of the time. It can be a laziness thing, but
I was a leg whipping dude back when I played. Which I learned pretty good. More times than not, I got away with it. Yeah. But if somebody's going to beat me, I was going to leg whip them and go knock them down. I got called for 2 or 3 times. I never got griped at because Coach Rush would say, "You're trying to get your block. I'm fine with that. You keep doing it." And holding penalties same way. They very seldom griped. You don't want those penalties in the red zone. But when you get ejected from a game, you get a personal foul for being stupid. That's a different deal, and that would make my blood boil. You got ejected, bad things were going to happen to you, and fix them. And hopefully you don't have to mess with them the rest of the season.
Memorial, though, supremely talented. Good defense. Offense can almost score at will. The two running backs, quarterback Joe Castles, dang good team.
Iowa Park at Burke. Iowa Park's 0-2. I'm working over there, so I'm not going to say much against Burke, but I will say this, 1-1. Burke has big play capabilities. They've got a quarterback that throws a good ball. They've got a wide receiver that makes big plays, and he gets behind people. It's a pretty good passing tree. They've got a big running back, big thick kid, and I know from my mom, she knows I'm doing.
Let's talk to her.
Oh no, I got to watch my language. She got on to me last week about it.
Yeah.
They're a big play team, and I think they've got a running back that may or may not come back this week. But he's been in some type of trouble, but. I hear when he gets back there, it's going to help them. Yeah. They won last week over Henrietta. Henrietta's got he's going through some growing pains.
Yeah.
Special teams make the difference. I feel like our game with Burke, we're over at Burke. Special teams may make the difference. Whoever makes the least mistakes probably win that game. You make a big mistake, you're going to get beat.
I'm an old Burke Burnett boy, class of '97. Bulldog, and Iowa Park was our biggest game every year. We had beaten Iowa Park, I think, 10 straight years until my senior year, and Iowa Park hit a field goal late in the game to beat us by 2, and went home and cried like a little baby, and it's an emotional loss, Coach. And I always pulling for my Bulldogs, but Iowa Park has been. They've been on their game for that kind of started Iowa Park just sort of dominating Burke over the last couple decades.
Last 10 years or so, Iowa Park's had the upper hand, but Burke Burnett leads the series. Coach Blassingame's wife is a Burke
She's
Burnett
from Burke
girl.
Burnett. Yeah, she would want me to pick Burke against the Iowa Puke Hawks. But I got some good friends. I got good friends that coach over at Iowa Park. And I think to me this game being as big of a rivalry game as it is, and how both teams have been playing, I think it could be a toss up. I think Frank's exactly right. It could be made off of a one punt return or a kick return could be the difference.
We've had a lot of years where Iowa Park has had that upper hand. This feels like more of the evenly matched, competitive, really good football game.
If you're Iowa Park Hawk, you grow up hating Burke.
Oh yeah,
I guess it's probably the same way. But
I've always respected as a Burke Burnett guy. We couldn't stand Iowa Park, but one thing I learned to respect was the Iowa Park fan. Iowa Park fans travel well. They show up to the games on Friday nights. That has always been a really good, impressive fan base. It don't matter if the Hawks are up or down, their fans show up and yell as loud as they can.
Burke's got a good student body over there.
Yes,
it's
they
the same thing. And I think that's what makes high school football fun.
Absolutely.
That student section was always a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going with Iowa Park. I'm sure that'll make my Burke Burnett customers. I don't have many of them. So.
There you go. You got more Iowa Park customers. Is that how you pick these games based on your customer base?
Can't go right. I'm not going to make somebody mad.
Everything's a monetary
dummy.
decision.
Yeah.
That's smart.
It is, there's
fault you in that.
It's just good. I'm always going to pick. I live in Holiday. I'm going to pick Holiday. When we get to that game, I'm going to pick them. Actually, I think they're pretty daggum good this year, so we'll go with that.
Yes,
Graham 1-1, Whitesboro 1. I don't have their record right. It says 1-0. 2-0. I don't know. Whitesboro's good.
I'll look it up.
They're good.
I picked Graham last week, and I guess I picked the wrong team.
Well, I was there. I said, you know what, Tobin, send me on a run where I get 2 state rec teams. Give me Graham at Springtown, then I'll cruise up 199 to Jacksboro, shoot a little boy at Jacksboro, and I stayed at Graham until they hit a lightning delay late in the second quarter, and I want to say Graham's longest play might have been like 8 yards up to that point. Did not score in the first half. I don't believe. Well, they didn't score while I was there. Again, I left during they called a lightning delay. Hit the road, went to Jacksboro. Graham just looked off. Now I know their running back's hurt. Their stud running back, kind of their bell cow guy, but they didn't look. It almost looked like they bought into their own hype a little bit. Maybe that's not the case. Springtown is good. Springtown's quarterback, heck of a quarterback, good athlete, made good decisions. I think Springtown came ready to play.
Springtown has a good coach.
And Graham they didn't quite look like that fiery Graham team that I've gotten used to in the past. And it might have just been a deal where they were a little bit outmatched on this particular night, but they did not look good against Springtown.
It's something you got to guard against. My first head coaching job, first game of the season, we're playing the Fort Stockton Panthers.
Fort Stockton. That is way out there.
Permian, we met at Permian's field, and it was on a Saturday afternoon, and we won that game. And a nice stadium. We got a win over a bigger team. And the next week we were playing the Holly Bearcats. Now the Bearcats are new and improved, but back then they weren't very good. And they had a stadium that looked like if somebody lit a cigarette would burn down.
Wow!
And there was hardly
like old Dick Todd Field and Kroll.
It was bad, and they've improved since then. But I had, since we played on Saturday, I went on Friday night and watched them play the Roby Lions, and their grass would look like weeds, and I did a bad job of preparing my team because we had just beat the Fort Stockton Panthers.
Oh yeah,
shit, we were good, and.
That your mom's going to call you about that.
I know it. I'm sorry, Mom. And we're going to beat, Holly just looks bad, and they play at a bad stadium. And we showed up, and we thought, oh, this is a bad stadium. This is a bad team. And they beat us. Yeah. We fumbled the ball 6 times.
Wow. That'll do it.
That'll beat you.
We had a couple games like that when I was at Burke where we had a lesser opponent that we punted off the side of our foot. We fumbled. It was just we gave the game away.
Well, sometimes you read your own press. You think you're pretty good.
I got Whitesboro at 1-1, by the way.
Whitesboro 1-1.
1-1 with loss to Bells, victory over North Lamar. Well, 5 seconds on North Lamar. I got nothing.
I don't know much about North Lamar.
There's Lamar, and they're kind of in the north part.
Bells is no idea. It's part of the slot team mafia. And, they're usually pretty good. In fact, I had talked to their coach a week ago, so that's a tough loss. I'm gonna pick Graham on the rebound.
Yeah, that feels right. Springtown felt like hopefully a little bit of a wake up.
Sometimes for good teams, like you said, that loss rights the ship and it gets you back on track where you need to be to get refocused, and sometimes a loss goes a long ways.
Yeah, I wish Rudy was still here. The year he beat us when we were in district with Gunner, we went over there and they beat us, and rightfully so. They outplayed us. I hate to say that. That might have been the best thing that happened to us that season because we got better after that.
That's right.
We were cruising. We had played Gunner already, and we were cruising because we're going to whoop everybody.
Yeah.
And I do feel like we got better after that loss. And more times than not, I don't like saying that, but
was that the same season that City View almost beat Gunner? Like Gunner beat them. Like Gunner actually had to come back at the end. And
City View was good.
Yes,
City View was
very good.
Yeah,
and,
good.
They ended up getting knocked out of playoffs by that team down by Austin.
By Austin, not Leonard.
No.
Okay, because Leonard knocked him out.
We beat them the next week.
Down by Austin.
I can't remember. They got a running back playing somewhere like at A&M or Austin, UT or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to think of it now, Frank, since you put me on the spot.
Yeah,
I've got Max Prep I can look it up.
And then we ended up catching Gunner and played them at Memorial.
What year would that have been?
Yeah, I don't even know what year this is.
I agree. They start running together, don't they?
Run together.
I tell you what.
Jax was a freshman.
Okay.
I don't know what year
he graduated 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're talking probably 2019, 2018.
Before COVID.
So probably okay. So what we'll do, we've got City View pulled up. Y'all keep talking. I'll find it.
I can't remember.
We'll track her down.
Anyway,
we're gonna find it. I'm on a mission. I won't be denied.
I just remembered that as good as the City View was, and I don't think we played very good. I didn't think we played very good on either side of the ball. We turned over the ball too much.
Yeah.
But
that's the problem you run to with Max Preps.
We got better.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That was a long time ago. I didn't have hair, and I was a little heavy. So let's move on. Speaking of City View, City View at Vernon. City View comes into record 1-0.
Yeah.
Or 1-1. And
had that
Vernon's
crazy
2-0.
loss to Windthorst last week.
Yeah.
And Vernon's rocking. That's our reigning KFTX team of the week. Vernon's looking really good under Kevin Sherrill. He's figured things out. He's got his guys playing good. Yes. Yep. Boy, Vernon is tough. Cityview's going to have to bring their ultimate A game to take down because Vernon is really good right now.
Cityview's fast enough to
got a lot of talent.
They
Absolutely.
They match up talent-wise.
You hope that's a game that turns into a shootout. I don't know if it will. Vernon's got a really good defense, but that's got the makings to be a really good game. I would lean Vernon just the way they've been playing, but Cityview's certainly got a shot at that for sure.
What worries me for Cityview side is coming off a loss like that. Mm-hmm. Just the heartbreaker.
It was there for the taking.
Against a team that that is really good, that's state ranked, and then you lose the way that you lose that game. Sometimes you have a hangover from that, and it runs into the next week.
Absolutely.
2018. I don't know why I have this feeling. I'm picking Cityview on the upset.
Okay.
I would think Vernon's probably favored. I don't know. I would favor him.
I would lean toward Vernon being favored. Absolutely.
I just for some reason have a feeling that Cityview's gonna. Now they're at Vernon, and that may make a difference.
Sure. I think I'm with you, Frank. I'll take the Fighting Mustang.
Now that I really think, and it's gonna that district that Cityview's in is gonna shape up. I think it's gonna be a 3-team race with Jacksboro, Cityview, and Holiday.
Me too.
I think I found it.
It's gonna get
I don't get to go, but I'm looking forward to that week.
You ready?
Was it
Lexington?
Lexington.
That's the one. That was a 28-7 loss.
Yeah, we.
And then y'all took it to them the next week.
We Lexington, I'll never quite understood that Lexington's running back didn't play the first half.
Yep.
And then he got well.
Yep.
Oh.
It was 28-0, and he started playing, and we shut him down too.
Interesting.
He had a sprained ankle or something. He wasn't going to play.
Then they decided air only shut. We got to figure something out.
And he scored against our second team.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
We football's so much about matchups.
It is.
Who you can match up against sometimes makes a difference.
But I'm an old Cityview boy, 1st through 8th grade. Then I ended up going to high school in Burke. Me and Rudy grew up together. Rudy's a couple years older than me. Known Rudy forever. But as much as I love my Cityview Mustangs, I gotta go Vernon in this one.
You're gonna go Vernon.
Again, I hope it's a good game. That's all I pull for on a Friday night. It's a good competitive football game. Sometimes there's nothing worse than either a game between two teams that are bad that can't score, or just a blowout where just not much is happening. There's one team that's fired up, one team that's just hopeless on the other side. Those games are kind of a drag sometimes.
I always liked winning, and if we blew them out, I'm happy for our team, and I appreciated the win because the kids still worked hard. Mm-hmm. But I was always bored.
Yeah, you do.
I wanted to be. I felt like I was irrelevant. The kids were going to go out and win easy and whatever. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I always liked playing games. And now that I'm semi-retired, even though I'm coaching again and cooking barbecue, I still like watching good matchups.
You don't, for a retired guy, you feel very, very unretired.
I stay busy.
You're maybe a little and you're probably tired, but you're not retired. There's no way.
I get tired.
I
I was tired last night. my coaching style, I always felt like if I didn't bring energy to the field, we were going to have a bad practice. Yeah. And that was my fault. So whether I was tired or not, as an assistant coach, I'm the low man on the totem pole, the young buck, even though I'm old. I try to bring energy out to that practice field because I feel like if I don't have energy, my kids, my players don't have energy. If we have a bad practice, that means we're going to have a bad game. We have a bad game, that means I'm going to have a bad weekend. And whether I'm the head coach or the lowly assistant, I want to do that. So I do get tired. But
what are your go-to phrases right now? You still buttering Pop-Tarts and all that good stuff? Oh, you got some new stuff, new material?
No. It's all.
Do you use those with the players, or do you save those for post-game interviews with the media?
I don't do post-game interviews anymore. So I use them all. I try to pull out all of them. Some of them I can't say on the internet because Mama would get mad. I've got one I'll tell you off the air later.
There you go.
But I can't use it in public. But yeah, it's kind of like we're getting ready for district.
Yeah.
The one I'm about to go to with the Iowa Park Hogs. When we get to district opponents, it doesn't matter who you go to dance with, it's who you will leave with. Yeah. It counts, and it doesn't matter your record.
Yep.
It matters what you do in district, and you go out to the Mounted Patrol Arena for a good dance. It doesn't matter who takes you out there. It's right. Who takes you home.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Anyway,
who's going to take you home?
I should have
tonight.
I should have been country and western star.
Yeah.
I love Nashville. I tried to get on out there to let somebody audition me. They won't take.
They got football in Nashville.
They do.
Yeah. They do. Go get you a gig out in Nashville.
I would love to. I don't think I can afford to live out there. All right. So who we going with? You're going Vernon, City View.
There you go.
Let's go. I got to look at this. Bowie at How at Bowie.
How at Bowie.
Both teams 1-1.
I know nothing about How. I did the Friday night football preview of the Bowie Jackrabbits this year. My man Tyler Price, head coach, second year, and there was last year you could tell Tyler was getting his feet wet. This season, that very first day, he's telling the kids that practice starts at 6. That door is locked at 5:55 over there. You don't show up right before practice, throw your stuff on, come out here. You get out here, you get prepared to practice, and then we go practice. So he's changing the mindset, he's changing the culture. They got a heck of a quarterback and Raider man, supremely talented kid. Justin Clark, really good running back, good big senior heavy offensive line led by Jorge De Leon, who I interviewed last year for the Friday Night Football preview. Look at that fly. Right on the camera.
That sucker was
man, huge. He was. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was about that big. It appeared on the camera. That's a big boy. But yeah, I'm liking Bowie and the direction they're going. I know absolutely nothing about How, so I'm going to pick them Jackrabbits in this one.
How can you pick How?
Yeah, I have no idea. How can you do it?
Bowie was hopping happy as that first win. I'm sure they're hopping mad this week.
Yeah,
I'm picking the Rabbits.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll make it a sweep. I
like it.
The Rabbits too. I know Tyler Price is a good friend of mine. I know he's doing great things over there in How. I don't know a whole lot about them. I know traditionally they're not one of the more strong programs. Yeah. So hoping for the Jackrabbits to get a little something rolling.
Yeah, I think they will.
One of my favorite high school combinations standing on the sidelines was when Tyler was, I think it was his sophomore year, he was quarterback at Bowie, and he had receiver Kyler Matlock. And there was Tyler to Kyler. And Kyler was always on the side that I was on, and I would stand about 40 yards downfield. Tyler would heave it up to Kyler, and diving one-handed catches, leaping up over always right in front of me, and he would land. I mean, just so you're following that football. He's coming to, and they did that probably 5 or 6 times. I wouldn't look through the.
Look good.
Shot. Tyler to Kyler, one of my favorite connections of all time, and so I always bring that up to him. And of course, then their defense is now led by the 2006 Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Texas in Class 1A, Winthorpe's own Jason McCoy, who's bounced around a little bit, found a new home there in Bowie, and the new defensive coordinator, and those guys were fired up, ready to play for him as well.
Well,
got that defense going in the right direction.
I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
I think they're a much improved team from last year.
Yes.
And I'm hoping they go 2-1.
And fun fact, me and Jason go way back. We played against each other in high school, and we've always been pretty good friends. And come to find out, Frank, just a couple months ago, I found out that we're actually related.
Really?
Yeah, I get to looking on Facebook. His little brother got engaged or something, and Evan, is coaching over at Henrietta, and I see somebody comment on there that I'm related to. That has my mom's maiden name, and so I do some digging, and I come to find out that we're actually related. So I text Jason. I'm like, hey man, did you know that we had this connection? He was like, no. And I said, yeah, my mom's a Dameron, and he was like, yeah, that's my grandma. She's a Dameron. And come to find out, we start to talk, and all of our family reunions used to be at the Armory out there at the lake in Jacksboro, and come to find out that we play football out there together when we were little.
That's crazy.
Running around the Armory, and
so you're pulling for the cousin.
I'm pulling for cuz.
You related to James Dameron?
I am.
Okay, old TxDOT guy. Yeah. We called him Mr. 350. Our truck rodeo at TxDOT every year. It's essentially an obstacle course for dump trucks, a skills competition for driving the dump trucks. So if you got a 50 in every event, you got 7 events. Yep. You got a 350. And he was the only one we could that anybody there could remember that ever got a 350. So he was known as Mr. 350.
That's my mom's brother.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got to be thinking you're rich. I mean, you work for the highway department.
Oh yeah, that lucrative state pay
as a sports reporter and or food critic, and you got a good life.
It's not bad.
It's not. I mean,
a lot of fun.
I don't know if it is above barbecue, pitmaster, and football coach.
Yeah, that's a sweet gig as well. I tell people all the time, my side gig, I can't think of a better side gig. I've been to, Dallas Cowboy playoff games. I've been to Texas Rangers shooting champagne on each other. I've been to spring training just about every year for about the last 8 years.
I tell you what,
not a lot of side gigs.
When I retire
places
again,
like that.
Which will be another good retirement gig.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason I went back to work, so I could have another retirement party.
There you go.
The first one was so fun.
Yeah.
But you need to hire me as your assistant when you're announcing the game as a colored commentator.
Boy, we've got a lot of applicants for that gig over the years.
I'm telling you.
Can I come home and hold a microphone for you? We get a lot of that.
I was a heck of a holiday JV color guy.
There you go.
Our guy, Coach.
I can attest.
All right, moving on. Benbrook, 2-0, former Hershey High School football coach.
Yes, sir.
Against the Holiday Eagles.
Yeah.
Former Olney Cub.
Olney Cub. Cody Slater.
Yep.
What do y'all think?
Good guy.
I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah. Benbrook's tough.
2-0.
But, but Holiday seems to be a well-oiled machine right now. Benbrook should be a good test, but it'd be tough to pick against the Eagles in that one. That should be a pretty dang good game. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what Benbrook has talent-wise. I just know that Cody Slater, whatever he has on the sideline, he's got him ready to play. So that should be good test. And I mean, early in the year, before a tough district, that's probably something Holiday needs. Playing a good team like that.
I didn't have my ear to the wall this week. I had my own issues. So I don't.
Had your own fires to put out.
I did, but sometimes I hear somebody's hurt or whatever, and that explains something. Coach, you know anything? Any inside information?
I can see this going close early. Like you said, Cody's going to have them prepared. I just think at some point, the athletes that Holiday has, they're going to pull away.
They can run
at some point.
They can run.
They have a good system of getting them out in space, and those dudes are athletes. They can make plays, and so I think it's close early, but then the Eagles end up pulling away.
Yeah. Well, you might have saw our top play of the week. It was our play of the night, our top 10 play of the week there on KFTX. MJ Baird puts together Ashton Berry. Leaps up over a defender, catches a pass about the 10. Defender immediately drapes onto his leg. Another defender kind of grabbing him up high. he somehow is still able. Another defender comes running up to take him down, trucks the guy with a guy on his leg. I mean, that's a strong, powerful kid right now. A good buddy of mine, Tim McCraw, him and his son and Ashton played travel baseball together for many years. So I've kind of through them known the Berries for a while, and that was an impressive play. You got good running game, good quarterback, and then good tall wide receiver like that can go out and out jump anybody and run people over like that with somebody draped around their legs. It's pretty impressive.
I figured I'd steal it before you got to it, Frank. That he's very good.
Yeah, he is very good.
He's very good. I get that.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember a game in a playoff game in Crum a couple years ago to where he goes up and it's a contested catch like you're saying, and he ends up coming down and on the way to the ground ends up catching it with his legs.
It was an interception.
Yeah, interception.
It was an interception.
Okay.
Ended up catching it with his legs.
So
Scurry
Rosser. Yes.
Okay, I feel like we had that highlight. That
Or in
sounds
Weatherford.
familiar.
It might have been in
It
Weatherford.
was at Weatherford against Scurry Rosser.
Okay.
And
We probably had some.
we didn't. Scurry Rosser had us going early. We didn't come out. We weren't ready to play, and that was an interesting game. We ended up winning it at the end, and that was a big play for us.
It was, yeah. It was a big turning point.
Well, I remember that. Their coach was furious at the game after the game, like we had done something wrong.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we won. It was a good game. Don't be mad at me because I did my job and you did your job, and we ended up squeaking one out that I know it's going to haunt you, but because losses haunt more coaches than wins do.
So you said we weren't ready to play. Is that something you saw pregame, or is it just kind of how the game unfolded early on that you could tell, okay, you know what, we're not ready to play?
That group never started fast.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
It always.
From junior high up.
We griped at them. We did everything we knew to make them start fast, and they was whatever. Coach.
They had to warm up in game.
All right, you score a touchdown, then we'll come back. It just irritated me to no end.
Right.
They did not start fast, and we didn't start fast. Scurry Rosser went down and scored, and then we had the ball and we fumbled it, and I think they were up 2 scores.
I think so.
And realistically, we hadn't made a first down. We're down 14-0 or something. And then we're, all right, Coach, we got it. Shut up. We'll go over there and mind your own business. We got this.
There you go.
And they did. But it just always bothered me how slow we started that year. But that was a very good interception.
It was.
So it was probably the turning point of the game.
Yeah,
when you get
I
right
agree.
down to
Yeah,
it.
huge momentum swing.
So Holiday gets the win, and Eagle at I'm drawing a blank on the name of the stadium.
Don Lucy Field.
Don Lucy Field.
I was there when they dedicated that night. That was a really nice ceremony.
Coach Lucy lived down the street from us, and he would come up and leave me notes on the board. And I don't know how the man did it, but he could always find a Sharpie to write a note, so you couldn't erase
dry erase
it.
board, yep.
So you tried him in Sharpie on the dry erase.
Yeah, and it's like, I know he didn't search the office for a Sharpie, but he would always find the one Sharpie in a room full of dry erase markers.
Wow.
So Coach Lucy he's a great cat.
Yeah.
Peaster, 2-0 at Jacksboro. This is a game you're
That's
covering.
okay. Peaster can be 2-0 all they want. It's the second part of that sentence that's the problem. At Jacksboro. So after I stopped by at Graham at Springtown last week, went over to Jacksboro, and Jacksboro and Boyd. I'm listening to it on the radio. Finally, about 8 miles outside of Jacksboro, I'm able to get them on the radio, and it's 30-something to 6. And as I'm pulling up, Jacksboro just got the ball back. I was like, okay, they're in the timeout. They're about to come out. I whip up, find a pretty close parking spot. I was worried I was going to have to park far away and walk in. They were going to score while I was walking up. Well, it pretty much happened that way. I back in, and as I'm getting out of here, I hear the crowd, the roar of the crowd starting to build. Like, okay, they're doing something. Maybe it's just like a 25-yard run. Luke Sams to the 10, the 5, touchdown, 88 yards. as I was getting my camera out of the back of the car. Now, they went on and scored like 3 or 4 more touchdowns for me. But I would have really liked to have that 88-yarder. You know, I've pulled up the Holiday to some of your games before, and I hear somebody scoring some 60 or 70-yard touchdown. That's just a kick in the gut that you were that close. Because half the time, you know, we start at one place, go to another. Sometimes it's 30, 40 minutes away. And you literally think back, had I not stayed and shot those 2 extra plays and just left after this certain drive, I would have been here for this touchdown. But when you're in that moment, you're like, I needed to stay at that game. This is how this was always going to be. It wasn't meant to be to get that beautiful highlight on camera.
And some games are faster
yes,
than others.
Absolutely.
You run a wing tee against another running team, that game lasts the halftime lasts longer than the game.
Yeah.
Those spread teams that throw the ball 184 times apiece, they take all night.
Jacksboro is kind of like a Graham. Graham historically has been one of our destinations. When we go to Graham on a Friday night, you're not going to get back till 11:20 at night. And Jacksboro's that same way. They're about 55 minutes away, and the way their offense scores prolifically, they pass the ball a lot. The clock stops quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that game, I didn't get out of it till about. It was almost 10:30, and so then you got to get back and get the highlights. But boy, they are a well-oiled offensive machine. You know, they lost their quarterback, good receiver, but Cannon Valenzuela might be one of our best players here in there. He might be the best player in the area.
The Sam's kid is
awesome, both sides of the ball.
Gavitt can sling it, and they're just, it's like you said, they just replaced everybody.
Yeah.
And it just
there were questions at quarterback. Gavitt, like you said, he can sling it. He's got a heck of an arm. He can escape.
And I've been able to see him in baseball the last couple of years. You know, he started for Blake as a freshman, slinging it on the mound, and just a good looking kid. So I knew he had the arm talent to do it, but he's really proven that he has the head talent too to make good reads and get that offense firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they put up 67 last week. I would think that this is another week. Like, I'm stopping there first, and my thought is I would be kind of surprised if I don't leave there by 7:30 for a 7 o'clock game, that I'm not leaving it by 7:30 with 3 touchdowns from Jacksboro. We'll see.
Since Peacher's
Still
on
got to go
our
play
schedule,
the game.
I want them to get beat and have some bad, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like bad mojo.
Have them a little
if
sad.
I remember right, there may be some
in.
just kind of inner thing there. If I remember right, there's a kid from Peaster that moved to Jacksboro.
Oh, that's
okay.
Right. This year, I think. If I remember right.
I think you're right.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Being in that, if you're going to go to a little bit bigger school, Peaster to Jacksboro makes sense because that's maybe 30 minutes away. That makes sense. Interesting.
It's the next game's a little bit out of our coverage area, but Childress 1-1 at Frederick.
Against the old Bombers. So
0-1.
I don't know if we have anybody going there, but whoever's there gets to see the old Bomber mobile.
Yeah, that's
always cool.
That's maybe cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just quickly, since I'm going to pick Childress. I think Childress pretty daggum good.
And based on just size of school, talent pool, it seems like I'm not sure what Frederick's got, but just on paper, you would think Childress has that upper hand for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I do like that. I would like to see that airplane roll down the thing.
They played at City View a couple years ago, and that was my first game that I started at.
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, they brought it out. Just that they travel with it too. They take it to road games. It's that little dude in this little bomber mobile. Thing was cool. Now City View went out and whooped them, but the entrance was cool. Oh yeah.
So, but Frederick, sometimes they've got a pretty good team. They've got a good program up there.
They get some Vernon kids every now and then. Well, when I was in high school, a kid named Terrence Gaines that was just an absolute man amongst boys when I was at junior high at City View. And then we ended up playing him when he played at Vernon. Burke versus Vernon went up against him. Big running back. He ended up going to Frederick his senior year. And I think they either won state or were runner-up. And so Frederick is one of those schools that not only do they have their talent around there, but they every now and then are able to poach from a nearby school that's wanting to change the pace. Poach. Yes. Poaching. Good poaching.
I'm gonna pull for old Childress since they're a Texas team. Henrietta 0-2. Very easily could have been 1-1.
Yes.
At Boyd 1-1.
So Boyd was Jacksboro's opponent last week, and Jacksboro made them look like they didn't have much. But just looking talent-wise, they appeared to have a pretty athletic quarterback. He was under pressure the entire time I was there, running for his life. But he was able to escape for the most part without getting sacked. So they do have a good athletic quarterback. And then, of course, on the other side, you got Henrietta with Blaze Deaton. They'll probably rely heavily on him. Really, really good running back. One of the better running backs in that size of school, that 3A level. I would, having seen Boyd in person, even though they got whipped by Jacksboro, I might lean Boyd, but that's a game Henrietta can win.
Does Boyd have?
Got to come out and play.
Does Boyd have a big play threat?
Let me think. So again, with Jacksboro, I didn't see anything big play threat. They've got kind of a big bruising running back. I didn't see a lot of speed on that side. I didn't see any tall, lanky, fast receivers. Everything was kind of an average. Nobody stuck out. You know, you look at Jacksboro, you got Cannon Valenzuela and Ashton Berry. Guys like that stand out. They didn't have anybody that stood out, but their quarterback is athletic, and he ran quite a bit. He threw okay.
Yeah.
So they've got some talent. Now, you play a team like Jacksboro, it's hard to get a gauge because Jacksboro's really good. But Boyd,
Henrietta,
they're a solid team still.
What Burke Burnett beat them with big plays, and I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. But they got a quarterback throw the ball good and a receiver that make a big play, and they did. Mm-hmm. And you eliminate about 3 plays, Henrietta wins that game. Mm-hmm. And special teams, Henrietta needs to make their extra points.
Yeah,
but
and sometimes that can happen. Those big plays when the group that you're relying on is young, which I think is what Henrietta has right now. And all of their talent is still growing, and so
put it together.
Yeah,
and so I'm going to take our Clay County partners over there.
There you go.
Going with the
I hope so. I hope
it's not Frontier Days or anything.
No, that's next week. Yeah. Next week, get a good win going into Pioneer Reunion week.
Pioneer Reunion.
Win going into Pioneer Reunion week, and it'll make all the floats that much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Why not? I'll pick him.
There you go.
There we go.
That'll work.
I'll take them too. They're a local team. I don't care nothing about Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd, Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. Okay, Boyd and Henrietta had an insane playoff game a few years ago.
Boyd should have. The year Boyd won state.
Okay, so we're talking probably 06-ish?
Yeah, because Henrietta.
Somewhere around there.
Henrietta beat my Colorado City team in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Boyd had that game won and turned it over like 2 times, 3 times in the third quarter.
It was that stud running back they had, old Matt Key. He ended up going to Ryder. But that kid, he was a sophomore at the time, and old Tom Howard was head coach over there.
Tom Howard.
And that kid, his legs were never not moving. As he went to the ground and was being tackled and on his back, his legs were still moving. His legs never stopped moving, but in that game, I think he had a couple fumbles that cost him because they were a really good team that year.
Tom beat me in the quarterfinals and then moved to Fort Stockton and opened the season with him.
Yeah.
And we beat him. But
there you go. Got your little revenge.
No.
It does, yeah. A regular season opener and a playoff game don't quite equate.
But Tom had told me that he felt like he should have beat Boyd.
Yes.
And Boyd went on to win the state championship. Mm-hmm. Ironically, Coach Ritchie was on that team.
Oh, gotcha.
So, ifs and buts.
Yeah.
But, I'm still going. I hate to say this because you coaching Holiday for a long time. It's kind of like old Parkburg. You got to pull. Your hometown.
That's their old rivals.
Henrietta. It's hard for me to say. I'm going to pick Henrietta this week, but I'm going to pick Henrietta for the win this week.
There you go. I will too. Why not?
Why not?
Go Bearcats.
Electra Tigers 2-0.
Yeah, you got the McKitty show out there.
Versus the only Cubs 0-2. You helped that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a hand.
Yeah. I had half of that.
Yeah. And from your vantage point, 0-2 is good.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry for them, but I'm glad that they are. I just think my Cubs are outmatched this week. I think Electra has some kids that can just outrun everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Tigers are dreaming about Mullen not Halle
Not
Berry.
Halle Berry and her
Catwoman suit. I
Yeah.
think they're dreaming about mauling a cub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think the Electric Tigers have it going on this year, and
Yep.
Alney. I want to pull for Alney.
Sure.
I
yeah.
just so I'm gonna pull for them, but I'm just gonna say Electric's gonna come out with the W.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Seymour at Albany. Now this is an unusual year. Albany
Yes,
is
Albany's
0-2.
Very
Well, the
rare.
last time Albany's been 0-2, I had a full head of hair and a six-pack of abs.
Yeah.
Same head coach.
Yeah, Denny has been
Denny's-
there forever, and he is. I scrimmaged him when I was at Colorado City. I scrimmaged him every year because I knew what I was going to get. They were going to hit you in the mouth and huddle up. They never talk trash, but they would hit you. And I would bet Denny, same type of team, but they're playing the Seymour Panthers, and that towel-waving sucker,
Coach Lloyd.
Coach Lloyd, old Dan.
Lloyd.
Dan, will have the Panthers ready.
He'll have them ready, and I think it's going to be
especially
more
after
about
this week.
His
Boy.
prodigy of,
Yeah.
of how good his boy can run that offense and how good he is at slinging the rock all over the field and getting that show going. I know he's, if not the passing area leader, he's one in the top three.
Yeah, he had 530-something yards first game,
Insane.
7 touchdowns, and beat Colorado City. Took down Colorado City there in Seymour. I've done the Seymour Friday Night Football preview. I think their preview and Monday's preview. I think the last at least 15 years in a row. So been through Coach Farmer, now Coach Lloyd, and that first game against Colorado City, it looked like a little bit of a wake up. They got off to a slow start, little sloppy turnover early on, figured it out. Ended up putting up 50-something points. Come out last week, and you said Henrietta, they got to make their extra points. Well, it cost City View against Windthorst in overtime. It cost Seymour. Seymour misses an extra point to lose 21-20, same score as the Windthorst
that
City View game.
drives you crazy as a coach.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where they played sloppy, and they're going to come out, I think, fired up, angry against an Albany team that has beat up on them in the past, that they want to beat, that is beatable. I think
But
Seymour's
you got to
going to come out and
believe you
put up a lot
can
of
beat
points.
them.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to believe you can beat them.
Because Albany just had their stretch. When Windthorst won state a few years ago, their toughest test was Albany in the playoffs, and they another game I was at. Hope you're not getting annoyed by me telling you all these games I've been to. I've been around, Frank. Been to a lot of games.
Me too.
That was that game where Cy Belcher rolled out, heaved it up, got a long game. It was like 4th and 21, and without that, it's a ball game. They end up scoring, beating Albany, and going on and winning state. The next year, Albany came out and put it to them in the playoffs because Albany, all those kids were sophomores when all those Windthorst kids were seniors. Mm-hmm. Those kids then became juniors and seniors and ended up winning a state championship themselves.
Yeah,
really, really good team. They're all gone now. So you've hit one of those little down swells in Albany that aren't very common. And so if you're Seymour and you want to beat an Albany team that historically has roughed you up, this is the time to go seize the day.
Oh, it is. As a coach, you can't wait for those years.
Yeah.
I've got a chance to beat those guys. And I won't pick Seymour.
Absolutely.
Me too.
At Seymour.
Me too.
Yep. Give me Braden Lloyd over 500 yards, probably 6-something touchdowns. Brayson Zeisel with about 150, and that's a team with a lot of talent.
It's interesting you said Windthorst. This may be the area game of the week.
Yep.
Munster at Windthorst.
And I told so MJ likes to highlight what he wants to be the game of the week. He had Munster at Windthorst highlighted. Tobin sending him out to Borden County at Benjamin. The nice little ranked 6-man matchup. Nothing wrong with that being game of the week. But thankfully he did that because now I get to make a quick jaunt out to Peaster at Jacksboro, and then I get to finish with the battle for Germany, Munster at Windthorst, and I am fired up to be at that game because that's always a good atmosphere.
Best sausage?
I love, so I have probably grilled more Munster sausage because I used to make special trips about once a month out to Fisher's out in Munster, get some of that good Munster sausage. So I probably smoked more Munster sausage, but Man, I love that Windthorst sausage too, and that's the one that's going to be the one I get to eat on Friday night. So it's going to have the upper hand because I haven't had Munster in a while. So give me that Windthorst sausage.
I made my own sausage this summer.
Yeah.
I'm out of it, and I've been meaning to. If I hadn't started coaching again, I would make my own.
Coach Jay's Gridiron sausage.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly about a 2 or 3 day process to make it right. But,
yeah, we got to slaughter the hog, and it's a lot of work.
Or shoot one.
There you go.
But
back in my meat cutting days, it was, of course, making sausage every day. It wasn't near as fun as Frank makes it out to be.
no,
it was my least favorite part because that pork gets sticky.
Yeah, it's got to be free. It's got to be frozen.
If you're doing if you're putting cheese and jalapenos in there and sending it through that grinder.
I made a jalapeno.
Yeah, having to scrape that stuff off your hands. Yeah,
I basically cut up a pork butt. I cut up a pork butt, and which is the shoulder for you people that don't know your parts of the hog.
It's not the rear end of the hog.
It's not the butt, but it's the pork butt. I cubed it, and I trimmed the brisket, and I mixed up, grind that stuff up, all it up, freeze it overnight, or seasoned it. I actually seasoned it. Put some jalapeno and some cheddar cheese in it, ground it again.
Oh, yeah. Use that high temp cheddar so you can let it melt out of there.
Bought it at the grocery store.
I'm always impressed by that high temp cheddar that barely changes form in there.
I think I used Meat Church Voodoo on it and voodooed the heck out of it and ran it through it again and put it in the casings and cold cooked it.
Yeah.
And boy, it was tasty, especially when I first made it. The stuff I ended up selling in town I thought was pretty good, but I had to freeze it. So, anyway, I digress.
Yeah, looking forward to that game.
We got to talk a little barbecue every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the only football podcast that I know about that talks barbecue and football.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And
it's top 5 anyways.
Friday night, football and barbecue go together.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
It's just, we live in Texas. That ain't going to change.
It's the best part. That's the best part about, it's all about Friday Night Lights, but there is a little cool part in the first 30 minutes where you're on the field and it's just grill smoke.
Yeah.
You got that in Petrolia now. That setup that they have, are they still doing the big meal where you pay? Oh my word, it's unbelievable. Yeah, shrimp and all kinds of good stuff there.
It's they do a fantastic job of firing up the smoker.
That soy sauce brown sugar glaze that I do for my fajitas works really good on shrimp too. Like a nice shrimp fajita.
Indeed. So
yeah, if you're on a diet, you can't use it. It makes you retain water, right. So you're gonna weigh about 2 pounds extra in the morning. But it's just water retention from the soy.
So I've learned when I go to Petrolia, I roll over there with the camera like, I'm just gonna get a little video of y'all's process, what y'all are doing here. Like, stay and get you a plate. Like, a plate? Yeah, why not? Thanks. That was my whole objective, was to linger long enough that they're like, give the guy a plate.
They'll hook you up.
Man, they will. They got good stuff over there.
Are you saying you're picking Windthorst just because of the sausage?
Okay, so seeing Munster, how they competed with Holiday, and me thinking that a Holiday Windthorst game would go the way of Holiday, Munster is tough. That is a tough, good team. And Windthorst, tough, talented, good team. I hope this is a good game. If I had to, I would lean Munster. I'm going to pick Windthorst because that's our local team, and I want the Trojans to win. But man, Munster, that's a tough squad. Good, tough, talented squad that can score on you.
I want Windthorst to win, mainly because my neighbor's grandson is the quarterback.
There you go.
But
Big Juicy. Yeah.
I have to pick Munster.
Now, secret.
When we did our pick 'em sheet at the office today, I picked Munster.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose $1.
Sure. Yeah. I'm the same. I'm rooting for the Trojans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could go either way. I think Munster does have a ace up their sleeve with the Windthorst Trojan on their sideline and Wes Johnson.
If I remember,
and so
if I remember right, and you can help me. In this Munster team, got a lot of coaches boy on this team.
They do. Yes, sir.
they're we played them sub-varsity. I remember 8th grader JV. They gave us everything we wanted. We ended up
absolutely.
winning.
Yeah, this group, it's that group that's up there now with Carney's boy and they can play. They can just flat out play.
So I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
If I wasn't coaching the game Friday night,
that's where it'd be.
That's where I'd be.
I'll be there probably around the second quarter, and I'll be there through the end of the game. And I hope it's a good one. I feel like Coach Tackett, Coach Belcher, Coach Cavazos, Coach Stark going to have the boys ready to play.
I have no doubt.
They just saw what this team, how they competed with Holiday, and Munster's going to be good anyway. They're going to game plan the heck out of that game, and I think they're going to be at home. They're going to have that crowd going, and give me the Trojans in a close, competitive, fun, classic Friday night football game.
I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, to me, it's got to be one of the better games in the area.
Thank you, Tobin, for choosing a 6-man game of the week so I can attend the actual game of the week. Appreciate that.
That daggum Tobin.
Oh, yeah. He'll throw you some curveballs. MJ loves it, too. MJ loves getting those curveballs. When he's got a game pinpointed and he gets sent somewhere else, he loves it. It's his favorite thing in the world.
That'll be fun.
I would as well.
MJ needs some curveballer now.
Yes, he does. Yes,
he does. We've already talked Petrolia Aquana. We've already decided Coach Blassingame.
Give me the Indians.
Probably going to get his.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, give me the Petrolia Pirates.
I'll pull them for you.
Yeah,
I don't wish any ill harms on the Indians out there in Aquana, but
indeed,
I'm pulling for the Pirates to make the Indians walk the plank, which would probably be, I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah. There's not much water out that way.
No, but usually Quanah has a great grass field.
Yes.
I've heard rumors that it's not as good as this year, but last time I was out there, it had a nice stiff Bermuda, and I love beautiful grass.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, last game I have written down, Monday.
Yeah.
At Chico and the Man.
So, like I said, I've done the Monday Friday Night Football preview for probably the last 15 years. The last 2 with head coach Brandon Langston. They snapped a 17-game losing streak in week 1, putting up 57 points. Last week they go take on the Winters Blizzards in Winters, 41-6 victory. So they've outscored their opponents now 98-12. They definitely don't have the DePaul, LJ Collier, Roderick Taylor talent, but they're putting up scores right now, and that's kind of indicative of the teams they played thus far. But Chico's one of those teams, they do have a little bit of talent. This is going to be their toughest test so far. Monday may very well lose this game, but it is good to see Monday 2-0. They're not very deep. They need everyone they have to stay healthy. They're all hands on deck every week, but it is good to see a 2-0 Monday team after all the struggles they've had here recently.
Monday's smallest 11-man team in the state of Texas.
Yeah, for years now they could have been a Division II, a small 6-man school, but that they stay 11-man, and it's finally it took longer. I think they thought there was going to be about a 2-3 year lull. It's been about 8 years, to get these numbers back up.
They're kind of a young team. When I was reffing last year, I got to do a couple of. Well, you small school, you go out there and you do 7th grade up. And so I got to see their talent coming. And they have some kids that can play that are coming up.
They can.
And, I did a Friday night game with them last year against Windthorst. Of course, Windthorst was much better than they were.
Yeah.
But Monday never quit. They played their tail off. They got beat, but they played their tail off.
Yeah.
So
that's all you can hope for when you got a team like that where the talent
playing hard, got some talent coming in, and all of a sudden, that's a good recipe for building a program and getting better.
It is, and Mondays, to me, is one of those places, similar to Petrolia, where the community needs someone in there, the kids need somebody in there that fully invests and gets those kids, lets those kids know that they're there, they believe in them, and to get those kids rolling.
Yeah.
And Mondays, to me, is that kind of type of community. And so that's what Coach Langston does there. He does a great job with them. Now we play Chico next week, so I've been able to watch a little bit of film on Chico. And they got a big bruiser back.
Yeah.
And so I think if they're able to, like you say, if they're thin, hopefully they're able to make it through against that big bruiser back and survive that game and come out with a win.
What is Chico's mascot?
They're
Dragons.
That's a good mascot.
Yeah, the Dragons
versus the Dragons.
Yeah, Mogul. Yeah.
Mogul's another good
Like Coach Langston tells them all the time, you're the only Moguls in the state of Texas. They're the only school with a Mogul as the mascot.
Now, Chico's not the
Monday
only
Moguls.
Dragons,
Yeah.
but the other Dragons are pretty good.
Yes.
The ones I know about.
South Lake and
South Lake.
some others, yeah.
But
yeah, Monday. So they are quite young. A lot of starters that are freshmen, sophomores. Got a junior quarterback. You got Ethan Fly, AJ Diaz out of the backfield that are both seniors. You got some seniors on the line, so you have some experience there to guide the youth along. And the youth they have, Jarius Williams on both sides of the ball, big 6'5" kid, basketball player.
Hey.
So he wasn't there when I shot their Friday Night Football
That's
preview on day one because
tall.
he was still playing
Pretty
travel
tall
AAU basketball, big time travel basketball. Sophomore kid, 6'5", can go up and drive the ball out of the air. He had an interception, some good receptions in that game that I was at against the TLCA, that little school out of Abilene, in week 1. They got him. They've got Kieran Wilson, another good little sophomore running back. So they've got some good talent on that team. A big bruiser running back is probably something that a team that you need to stay healthy. That might not necessarily bode well, but you hit a guy in the mouth a few times. Sometimes they don't want anymore. So that's going to be that's a team they want to start. They're going to want to start fast against the Dragons, hit them in the mouth and make things happen.
Something I said this week. Mark's got that big back. We need to put about 8 or 9 hats on him every time he carries the ball.
They don't run as hard when they're getting peppered every
No,
single time.
and legs get to hurting when you
wears
put
on.
enough. But this
So
ought
I'd
to be a
say
heck of a game.
I was never that back, so I couldn't tell you if that's really the case. But
No, I played the offensive line.
Another thing during that preview so me and MJ both road trip down to Monday over the summer when LJ Collier won state with him back in 2012. He was the defensive player of the game in that 2012 state championship game. Went on to TCU, worked his way up into what they thought would be about a mid-round draft pick. Pre-draft, he was looking to be maybe a second rounder. Seattle steps up and picks him in the first round. LJ Collier, a first-round draft pick out of Monday, Texas, and TCU. He's played for the Seahawks for a few years. He's now with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
In the last 2 years, he's come to Monday and done a football camp.
Yeah.
And so, you could tell he's inspired the kids. So it started with 90 kids. This past year, 120 kids. I just saw the enthusiasm of all the kids that were there. They're out. There's not a lot to do on Monday. So you get an NFL to them. I mean, LJ Collier, this is a larger-than-life icon. He's a big dude. An NFL player coming to take time in his own community. And I asked Coach Langston, I asked the players when I was doing that Friday Night Football preview, what does that mean to you guys? And Ethan Fly, if you ever talk to Ethan Fly, their senior running back, everything that kid tells you is thoughtful and from the heart, and let me tell you, deep. And he said, you know what? There's times around here that, we don't even know if we want to keep playing football. But I'm paraphrasing, but that seeing a guy come back that's a guy in the NFL that still comes back and takes time in his community, he's like, man, sometimes that's all we got to keep us going is this knowing that somebody out there cares about us, and it's helped rejuvenate the football program to get those numbers up, and you hope that continues.
LJ was a senior the last time, the only time I guess, I just played him once.
Yeah.
But he
in Monday, yeah. Or no, yes.
Yeah, we played in Monday, and of course, Stanford, it's amazing to me that two little towns, Mundy and Stanford, had 2 guys that ended up in the NFL in the same year. And LJ's a good I want to say good kid, but he's not a kid anymore.
Right.
He's definitely a man. But
well, how often have you seen supremely talented athletes? They go they end up in college with the wrong mentality. They think they're still going to be the big man on campus, and 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, that fails.
Yeah,
you got to go. You got to humble yourself. You got to go out. You got to keep working. And LJ actually did that. He's one who broke through when you see so many who don't.
Big fish in a small pond.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Texas,
yeah, he wasn't some little scrawny guy who pulled himself up from his bootstrap. I mean, he did to a certain extent, but he had the physical characteristics to go and make it happen. But he still had to work. College football is littered with big 6 foot.
He went to a D1
guys
Big
like him.
12 school.
Oh yeah,
and made his name,
but he had to work. He's a guy who always stayed focused.
I'm a Horned Frog fan, and mainly because Sammy Ball.
No, Slinging Sammy Ball from Rotan, Texas.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And but nonetheless, I followed LJ, and I was incredibly happy that he's had success in the NFL.
Yep.
So
I always worry about our local kids because unfortunately, most of the time they go to college and it's all about girls and partying. It's not about bettering themselves and becoming football players.
Well,
and it happens everywhere. But LJ went and stayed focused, and he's an example to any kid who's going to college. Don't go in there thinking you're going to go run the campus. You got to work for it. Keep working because somebody's there to outwork you.
I would like to know the stat on how many people in our area that signs an athletic scholarship and how many actually make it more than a year or two.
It's not many. Even the ones that you look at these are supremely talented athletes, and they go and they get in the
I'm the first one to
turn to drugs and partying and women, and it goes away.
There was a lot of things that Texas Tech offered that Howard Park didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, you're gonna have Mama calling you again.
Yeah, Mom, I was at FCA camp.
Oh yeah, that's how you spent your time. There you go. Oh yeah.
So, well, we haven't done much on 6-man. Is there any 6-man game you want to talk about?
Okay. Our game of the week is Borden County at Benjamin. Benjamin, of course, won the last 2 state championships with Grayson Rigdon. Have you seen what he's doing at 11-man, by the way?
No.
Over 200 yards a game, 3 or 4 touchdowns.
That doesn't.
No, not at all. It was questioned, can he go make it in 11-man football? The answer is yes. Grayson Rigdon's a stud. Now I don't have Rigdon, but in Hayes I trust. I've covered 5 state champion or 4 state champion and a couple state runner-up Nathan Hayes teams. He's got 2 of his boys who are really talented. A lot of returning players that are still really good. That's still a very good Benjamin team. Now Grayson Rigdon makes it almost an automatic state championship. It's going to take a lot more work from the group they have now, but they're still very, very talented. Borden, and it's the only thing out there. There ain't nothing in Borden County, but that school. That's about it.
Facility.
That's about
My great grandmother lived in. Now this is a long time ago because my great grandmother lived to be 100. And she's been dead 30, 40 years. They moved from Borden County to Hamilton, Texas. In a covered wagon, and she walked the whole distance.
Wow.
Can you imagine doing that?
No. I've got my wife, her family from Granville. They have some covered wagon stories, like going from Granville, Oklahoma to Fort Sumner, New Mexico on a covered wagon and back. Her great granddad, and it's just amazing that we do everything on our phones now. They had a wagon and maybe a donkey that was worth half a darn. That's how they got places.
Archer County, if you go right over here, just south of town, you'll find Stonewall Jackson Camp, which is a baseball field. All right, Stonewall Jackson fought for the Southern states, and we're not going to get into that political stuff. But
we're not going to talk about the debate last night?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Anyway,
throw my notes away.
But my great-grandfather, my dad's grandfather, my grandfather was his youngest son. And best I can tell, when he got married after the Civil War, his wife, bless her heart, had a child every other year till she died.
Wow.
And my grandfather
had a lot of farm hands.
Yeah, but they came from Georgia after the Civil War to Archer County. And I've got a lot of relatives here. Some I haven't met, but that's a long haul. If you came back, if you come on horseback or walk from Georgia to Archer County, it's a long way.
Unlike Billy Joe Shaver, they didn't come to Georgia on a fast train.
I thought you were going to talk about Billy Joe Tolliver from Billy
Joe Tolliver's a good player. Old Atlanta Falcon.
He's funniest guy in football.
Was he a Charger? He was definitely a Charger.
He was he was an Atlanta Falcon.
Okay.
And he was
I remember it was Falcon and Charger, I think.
I think he was a Bear for a minute.
Might have been.
Billy Joe, because Brett Favre backed up Billy Joe Tolliver at Atlanta. Anyway, Billy Joe was fun to be around at Tech. I will tell you that.
There you go.
Now
I was going Billy Joe Shaver, Norm Macdonald, the may he rest in peace comedian. They were best friends.
Norm Macdonald,
what an odd couple.
He is funny.
Yes, he is.
I love his Turd Ferguson imitations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bart Reynolds, if you don't know, Bart Reynolds, Trans Am. Yeah. Ironically, I hate being the one-up guy. My cousin was Bart Reynolds' stuntman.
What?
So, in Smokey and the Bandit, he was the guy that did the stunts for Bart Reynolds. Yeah. And if you the scene where Jackie Gleason drives under the truck and the top comes off, it's my cousin driving the car.
Wow.
He's of course he's older now, but he lives in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
They found him. He was a cliff diver and a gymnast, and they asked him to start doing stunts. He ended up being Bart Reynolds' stuntman.
That's amazing.
Small world.
Fun fact.
I met him when I was about 4 years old. He was the greatest thing ever because he brought a trampoline to the family reunion.
Oh, wow.
And,
as a little kid, there wasn't anything better than an old trampoline.
Well, I can tell you one thing better at a family reunion, and that's one that the Damerons.
A party cousin?
That we had. And pretty close in Loving, Texas.
Okay.
That's where we had a
Loving County.
Cousin brought an actual wrestling ring and set up a wrestling ring outside of our family reunion. So we got to...
You get the two sides of the family squaring off?
We got to jump off the top rope.
I thought when you went with cousin, I thought you were talking about the guy from Archer City. His dad wrote Lonesome Dove in the last picture.
James McMurtry.
Yeah, the
Choctaw Bingo.
Choctaw
Ruth
Bingo.
Ann and Lynn came down from Baxter Springs. So I saw him live in Austin last year at the Continent. Oh, he is awesome. So Ray Wiley Hubbard, we were talking about him earlier while we were enjoying them. Coach Jay Fajitas and the Smoke Rumble the other way. Oh yeah, the Frankitas. So he does that song. So he gets to that part of the song when he's playing out there in St. Joe. He's like, okay, folks, this next part, I'm not singing it. And we're like, oh, come on, do it. Like, nope. I'll start it off. And if y'all want to finish it, I'll keep playing guitar. But I'm not singing it. So I was feeling pretty good. And I acted it out even worse. I would have had your mom calling you. But yeah, that's a great song. James McMurtry, Choctaw Bingo. He's got a lot of good tunes.
We sang it on the bus route after a quail hunt in Rotan, Texas, which isn't necessarily all legal, but it's a dang good time.
Out Here in the Middle is a great song. I swear Out Here in the Middle is probably about his time in Archer City or other small towns that he lived in throughout his life. And then a Canola Fields is another great James McMurtry song. He's got that's just a man who knows how to write a song.
So not only are we talking barbecue and football, now we're hitting great country.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I shouldn't have been a star. I mean, I've got the looks for it.
You do, absolutely. Do you have the voice?
Well, I can't play any musical instruments, and I really don't sing very good, but I covered up with pizzazz. Yeah.
I played football and baseball in high school, and I've long told people I should have played golf and tennis because I would still be playing those now at a decent skill level, and I should have learned an instrument in the band.
Well,
I should have learned life skills.
Well, we're talking about
I haven't played baseball in many years.
In high school, if you got a son or daughter, make them play everything through their sophomore year.
Absolutely. There you go.
Don't let them work at the Texaco. Their senior year instead of running track and
welcome to Brahms. How can I help you?
Missing a trip to regional in the sprint relay and probably the mile relay because had to make $2.85 an hour at the Texaco.
Yep.
And but I digress. I wish I could. I loved high school. I loved everything about Iowa Park High School.
Yep.
I loved the family connection with my teammates is still there, and I've been out of school 40-something years, and it was beyond football. And, of course, I had a special class, and I'm not sure the class of 83, anybody from the 80s was probably a special person.
I wasn't sure that's what you were going with when you said you had a special class.
Daggum right. We had fun, and we still have fun, even though most of us are approaching 60 years old. I don't know how the hell that happened. Sorry, Mom.
It happens quick.
But we got old. Anyway.
So, first time I met you, I was at I think it was Monday versus Wink in Colorado City. I didn't know it was pronounced Colorado City until I was listening to the radio on the way down, and they kept advertising these little businesses in downtown Colorado City.
Yeah, Jim Bob.
So I pull up, I walk in, I'm hi, Frank Johnson, how are you? And that wasn't a very good Frank Johnson impression. I need to work on that. But you got me set up there in the coach's office where I could set up my laptop, feed my highlights back. That's the first time I met you, and you asked me about the holiday job that was opening up. I was like, oh, why? You interested? I go, oh, yeah, I'm from Alba Park, and I'd love to get back up that way. I was like, oh, cool. Nice to meet you. Good luck to you. And then lo and behold, boom, you got the job, and you end up here. So my next question is, you were talking earlier about beating the Olney Cubs, your alma mater, the first time that your Holiday Eagles beat Iowa Park. Did it happen the first time?
No, it didn't.
No, okay. It took a few tries, yes?
It did.
Okay, that's what I thought. But I imagine that first time felt pretty good.
Daggum right.
Yeah.
I'm a ride for the brand guy.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays paid me. I'm going to...
Yeah?
They didn't pay me to lose. They paid me to win,
Your old green loyalties go out the door in that game.
It did. And it was always weird going, especially when you went over there and you hear your school song. And
yeah, I
can still sing it because we got this back in 1979. I was a freshman at Iowa Park High School. And Mr. Dawson, our principal, who was fantastic, great guy, he made all our English teachers, it was for a grade. You had to learn the school song. And honestly, if you couldn't sing it, you were going to get a lick. Mm-hmm. So, I learned here's to right here. And so the first time we played Iowa Park, they started playing it. And
just instinct.
It came out.
Yeah.
Yep. Shut up. So I had to sing the holiday school song or a fight song with equal enthusiasm, if not more. But I wanted to beat Holiday in today's world, and I love the Holiday kids. They're, I know most of them.
Yeah,
they were mine for so long. If we played them tomorrow, even though I love those kids, I've got to pull for the Iowa Park Hawks. That's who's paying me.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess you're getting to that time where a few more years will pass and all the kids that you coached will be gone, but you're still going to have siblings of those kids. There's still going to be a lot of ties for probably at least the next decade there in Holiday of either.
I hope so.
Of kids you coach, brothers and stuff like that are coming up through the program.
And through
a lot of ties
through Coach Jay's Gridiron BBQ, I friend everybody mainly because I want to sell them barbecue.
Yeah, I could be a customer every click.
I get to know more and more people. I've been out of Iowa Park for 40-something years, so most of these kids I don't know. Mm-hmm. I ask them all the time, "Who's your granddad?" And if I recognize the name, and they'll tell me, and unfortunately, it's their granddad, and I do know them versus their father. But
yeah, they were a freshman, you were a senior type deal.
Yeah, that's the part of coaching that I probably miss the most is being around the kids, and you want to see them have success, and I love the Holiday kids, so I want those guys to win as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those guys that, I'm not the coach anymore. I hope they get beat. I don't want somebody to beat my record or whatever. Mm-hmm. I want those kids to be successful. I'm at Iowa Park. I want those kids to be successful.
Yeah.
This week, I want them to be more successful than a Burke Burnett Bulldog.
Yeah.
And, of course, I can't like Burke ever. I'm sorry. I know some of you people are my customers.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't. It just ingrained on me. Beat Burke.
Yeah.
kick a dog and take his food away.
I still got to pull for Burke because I got cut. I graduated from there.
Yeah.
I've got nieces and nephews. I got a niece that's playing volleyball, basketball, and I got little nephews that are coming up and playing football. So I got my oldest niece. She's out at Cisco, one of the Wrangler Bells dancers at Cisco. Came up through the Burke program, one of the Burke Burnett Babes, Boomtown Babes, and so got a lot of Burke ties. But over the years, I've come to respect Iowa Park again because of their fan base, and it's just traditionally it's been a good team for about the last 20 years, and it's a good school to root for. It's a good community.
We haven't started off like I'd wanted to, but I will tell you this: I don't feel 60 years old out on that football field.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time,
Good.
and hopefully the kids are enjoying me being around and the other coaches and. It is different not being the boss. I will say that. So,
an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, I keep my mouth shut for a change, and that's hard for me to do because I'm so funny.
You're always one of my favorite people to talk to after a game. When Tobin put out the schedule and it would say holiday and in parentheses post me and get some post game from coaches and players, and it was in holiday, I was like, all right, I'm going to get some good Frank Johnson witticisms. One I'm going to save for maybe the next time if you'll ever have me back when Rudy's on here. I've got one for you and Rudy that we'll save for another time. But you're always a blast to talk to. I don't know everybody. Heck, Dave Campbell's, Friday Night Football show on Fox. Anybody who's ever talked to you, you're always a blast. A quote machine.
Well,
it wasn't just the kids played hard. You always had something nice and juicy.
I always got tired of that. Well,
yeah.
Kids played hard and we worked really hard this week. No, come on.
You always had a good, entertaining quote, and that we always appreciated that.
Let's get colorful.
Absolutely.
So, and somebody asked me one time, "Do you spend time thinking of that stuff?" And I did.
Oh yeah.
I'd get on.
You got on a notepad.
I get on the internet.
Oh, on the internet. I thought these were all yours.
No.
How much time he spent?
Is butter on a Pop-Tart yours?
No.
Stuff.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
We got breaking news here.
That's sweeter than stolen honey. That's not. I used to say my dad used to say that's sweeter than stolen honey. My dad never said that.
Misquoting your own dad.
Yeah, but it's good entertainment.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
I think to be a successful coach, you got to be somewhat of a liar, and I know that's go against the golden rule. It's on the front door of the school, but
there's probably sometimes you're going to go out and get your butt kicked, but you can't tell the kids that.
When we were down against Eastland 28-7, I told those kids we're going to win this game. That we made some mistakes, but we'll go out there and play good defense. Quit giving up big plays.
Yeah, it's 28-0.
Was that the Baron Morton year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there.
We can beat these guys.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we did, and the kids believed me, and we went for 2 at the end of the game and won. And there was no way I thought we were going to win that game down 28-0.
I feel like I was there at the end.
No,
I need to go back. I need to go back and look at the notes.
It's one of my 2 best wins.
Yeah.
I always loved coming when we won those games from behind. And we beat them.
I know a
and
quick
then
way to see if I was there.
We the game against the night we had the JV team.
Valley View.
Winning with the JV team was a whole lot of fun.
Here we go. Come on, baby.
Winning that game in Mineral Wells in overtime, or right before overtime, and kicking the field goal was fun.
What a lot of people don't realize is that JV game where we beat Valley View, it wasn't just we showed up with the JV game. We found out about less than 24 hours before that game.
That we were on the bus to go to Fort Worth.
We were loaded up with the JV to go to a JV game.
And it wasn't our whole JV team because we had to quarantine.
The JV band kids were also quarantined.
Yeah.
And so we had a couple hours practice with those guys, and that was it.
And we took a defensive lineman, Coach Tucker did this, and made him a safety on Thursday afternoon. And, that's hard to do because usually if you make a defensive end a safety, he's going to bust.
Yeah.
But, it was that's one of one of my favorites. I just anytime I beat somebody I felt like I shouldn't beat, it was a great game, and coming from behind was always fun.
So did y'all go Eastland back-to-back years then? I have a shot sheet here of an Eastland loss.
Again in the playoffs.
We played them.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about the playoff game.
No, we played them non-district. We were down
week 2, maybe?
Week 2. We were old and Owl Park kicked us.
Yep.
And we got, at that time, I was hoping we'd get better, and we played the first half like we were horrible.
What is this?
And we were down 28-7 at halftime.
Okay.
And scored 22 points or whatever. We won 29-28.
Okay.
And then
I've got a Baron Morton game here. Holiday Eastland, November 27th, 2020.
We should have won that game.
Yeah, y'all were they took a lead late, 28-24. Oh, that was in Graham?
Yeah.
Okay, I was at this entire game apparently.
Game.
Looks like
Baron,
y'all went for it on a 4th and 24, knocked away ball game.
Baron.
Yeah.
It's just the play I remember the most. Jax had him sacked and Baron knocked him off.
You want to read what I wrote? This has got to be it. This is 4th quarter. Unbelievable play here from Baron Morton. Spins out of a sack in the backfield, then streaks in for a 12-yard touchdown. Mavericks go up 28-24.
That was against my son Jax. He fell off of it. And Jax didn't miss many tackles, but he did that night or that play. And Jax, I know you'll listen to this podcast tomorrow. I still love you.
Baron Morton, he's starting quarterback for Big D1 Texas Tech. There's no shame.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
It wasn't some scrub that spun out of a sack. It was a D1
20-year-old running back.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, he was well over 19.
Wow.
They got
a waiver approved.
Let's see here.
He was good too.
Morton. Wonder if I've got his name in here. Mavericks. Recovered by Jax Johnson at 37. He had a fumble recovery.
He did.
There you go.
They played their tail off. They shouldn't have lost to us the first time.
I got another one here for you. Mavericks 1st and goal from the 5. Baron Morton reaches out, drilled by Jax Johnson. Ball loose, recovered by Austin Jones in the end zone for the touchback. Remember that play?
Yeah, I actually do. But the one that sticks off is the one he fell off of.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I do at the games.
That's the unimportant.
Do the old shot sheet.
That's
at the
part of coaching that sticks with you. And I've started. I know we need to wrap it up.
Is it like midnight?
When I retired, it took me about 6 months to get over football, and I finally did. And now that I'm coaching again, I'm having dreams about it, and I don't sleep good, and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, you're back in that mode.
We're sitting 0-2, and I'm not locking it, and I know the kids aren't locking it. None of the other coaches are locking it, and I wake up at 3 in the morning, and I can't go back to sleep, and I have a hard time going to sleep anyway, and then I get unhealthy habits. I get a dip of stuff and get up, and I fall back.
Smoked armadillo eggs and
armadillo eggs. That's a different story. That's when you know you're no longer a coach. When like last week, I laid awake thinking about how do I make a better rib.
Oh, there you go.
How can I make a great rib? Let's try party rib. And party ribs generally you cut up ahead of time, but I left them in a slab and then cut them and then kind of cooked them like a burnt in, and I thought it came out good. But I lay awake on barbecue, and I think, how can I make a better brisket? Yeah. What can I do to make a better pork butt? And
striving for greatness. Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
it'd be better if it was happening at noon and not 3 in the morning.
Well, you got to think sometime, and when you're coaching, sometimes you got to get up at 5 to cook a brisket.
Yeah.
So, which you get that coffee going, and that is kind of nice to see the sun up when you got your smoker fired up.
And the smoke's billowing out.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you got a couple puffy white clouds and that blue and orange sky.
See the sun coming up, and you got the pecan wood just smells wonderful.
Yep.
Dadgum, if I had a brisket, I'd cook one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Heck of it.
Me and Coker, thank you for coming out. Brad,
thanks for having me, Coach. Thanks for the grub. Delicious.
You bet.
Coach Jay's Gridiron BBQ. Holiday Texas, Wednesdays and Fridays?
Wednesdays and Fridays
There you go.
usually. And next week is holiday homecoming. I'll be. I don't know how I'm going to quite get it done because I got Wednesday practice and all that. We'll be set up and for the homecoming parade and selling barbecue sandwiches. Brisket mac, if you haven't tried it, it's worth doing. I will tell you this. On Friday, I sell brisket elotes, which is street corn.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a West Texas guy, I do too.
Yes.
It doesn't agree with me.
Do you roast the corn first? Because I've seen. Okay, the first time I ever had it, the top layer with all the tahini and lime juice and cotija cheese, delicious. But after I got all the good topping, I got down to essentially just some canned corn that had like nothing on it. But so I was thinking, to make good elote, you got to roast that corn, get a little blackness on it. Then you've got the base. For
I will tell you
elote.
this. Sometimes I cheat.
Yeah.
But I will put it in an iron skillet and I'll oil it up. And it's not canned. It's never canned. It's fresh corn.
Yeah.
And
use the cake pan method. You've seen that?
No, I don't do that.
You take the corn on the cob and shove it down through the cake pan, and it falls out into the pan through the little hole in the cake pan.
I take a butcher knife and just slice it off the cob.
Okay.
So if I have time, I'm gonna put it on the smoker.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Let it heat up and char, and then I'm gonna take that butcher knife and I just slice it off the cob into my iron skillet. And I love iron skillet cooking.
Yeah.
You know, the peppers and onions tonight for the fajitas were in an iron skillet, and I can't use it in my house because my wife gets mad at me.
Yeah.
But I think iron skillet cooking is the way to go. I love cooking like in a Dutch oven. Yeah. Biscuits in a Dutch oven. That is fantastic. Yeah. But I do my lotus corn, which lotus is street corn, and I put it in oil and I let it kind of sear on that pan.
Yes.
And then I put for mine I go with fajita seasoning. And I make it a little
I've got this carne asada kind of citrusy seasoning that go on there.
And then of course you cook, you smoke your brisket and chop it up and you put it on there you butter that corn up good and put that elotes on it and then it's basically pico or whatever you want, but a little crema. I don't know if you did y'all try the crema?
Chili crema. Whoa, I didn't know you had any. Okay, that's going to have to be post-game.
I may have forgot to.
We had pre-game. We have to have a quick post-game.
Put the crema on it.
There ain't nothing I like more on this earth than crema.
A little cilantro, a little tomato, a little jalapeno, and if you can your choice with barbecue onions, two kinds of cheese, feta or regular grated, or both.
You ever use that little tiny cotija? That's what I see on it.
I do. A lot of times I use feta just because.
Yeah, feta's plenty good.
Yeah, it smells really bad.
There's not a lot of difference between the two except one's real little bitty fine
and then
bits.
I always ask my cook, barbecue sauce or hot sauce? Miss Tandy's hot sauce. And I like the hot sauce myself, but it does not agree with me.
No.
I eat it every time I make it. And I love it. I think it's the best thing I cook. So.
Yep, it's excellent. Good
stuff. Next week, I don't know who we're going to have.
There you go.
Thank you, Coach Blassingame, for
coming right. Good luck this week.
Taking Rudy's spot. He had a family deal. Turned out he had to pick up his wife from the airport. And, I guess if you want to stay married, you got to do
something. That's what Uber's for, I think. Something like that.
That's what I thought. Taxi or...
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hopefully Kristen doesn't watch this episode.
I would probably pick up Tammy. Maybe.
Skip out. Well, if you ever have me back on with Rudy, I'll tell you our story about going to the cliffs in 2004 in full detail. So if, Rudy, you're watching the end of this, full detail of our trip to the cliffs, you might start sweating.
I think
it was a fun trip. Fun trip.
Did it have anything to do with his cousin?
I don't remember any cousins involved, but it was a Crime Stoppers golf tournament, and we almost became a Crime Stopper, maybe.
Well, thank y'all for watching. Hope your team wins this week.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and thanks for watching. We'll see you.